But once we're talking shit, one of the things I get to do is I say I'm a kickboxer. Like, oh, you're a kickboxer? I say, yeah, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to train you. I'm going to make you a little ninja because you're beautiful. No one's going to expect you to kill them. And I give that compliment there. And they're like, oh, like, yeah, you're going to work for me. She go, really? Who do I have to kill? I say, well, are you strong enough? And they'll always go, yeah. I'll say, go on, let me see. And then they'll tense their shit muscles. I'll go, got work to do. That's how I first do the Kino break the ice, touch them thing. I do the feeling their arms thing. But that only works because I have huge arms. If I did that and she looked at my skinny ass arms back and goes, well, where's your fucking muscle? It doesn't work, then does it? So you have to choose your own style. But yeah, if they're all crossing up and they don't want you to touch them, whatever, then that's obviously a bad sign. You know these things already. I don't have to tell you super fucking obvious stuff. If you've watched it to this point and you haven't taken any notes, I doubt it. I've definitely told you some shit you probably don't know yet. Especially changing it from angry to calm. I know none of you fuckers do that because I've never seen anyone else pull that off but me. Eyes. Eye contact. A lot of you are very unaware where you're looking, especially when you're talking to somebody. I look in people's eyes. I do that very, very specifically. Not in a creepy way. I don't want none of you fuckers to take my videos. Sometimes I say things which are so nuanced, and I'm worried that people are going to be like, okay, Tate said this, so I have to do this. And you're going to go sit there with a girl and be like, hi. You're a fucking psycho. Like, you have to keep things into perspective. But especially if you want to drive a point home, you look in someone's eyes. Like I said before, the biggest theme behind this body language course is the ability to change your language. It's the change of language that people perceive more than the language itself. So if I'm talking to a girl and I'm like, blah, 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 doesn't matter what I say. Let me think of a sentence. Doesn't matter what I'm saying. But when I want to drive the point home, only then will I look in her eyes. Yeah, actually, I'm really glad I met you because you are beautiful. I'll say the beautiful part and look in her eyes. Before I say that, I'm looking away. And that's what makes it more effective. It's more effective because I've gone from looking away to looking at her. If I just looked at her and said, I'm glad I met you because I really think you're beautiful. It's not, for me, it's far more effective for me to say, yeah, well, I'm glad I met you because I really think you're beautiful. I'll look away and then I'll look at them when I say something I mean. And that change in body language is what they perceive, and that makes you far more convincing. Do you see where I'm coming from? You want to tell a girl she's beautiful? Well, make sure you're not looking at her and then look her in the eyes directly as you say it like a fucking man. Eye contact. Eye contact needs to be used as punctuation. This is punctuation. Everything is punctuation, make them understand a point. That's how your eye contact should be used. I'm not saying you have to lock eyes with every motherfucker you meet, but it needs to be used as punctuation. Same with men. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, get the fuck away from me. Get the fuck away from me. When I look in his eyes, it's when I mean it. When you're saying it, you're not looking in his eyes, you don't mean it. Say I look in his eyes, I mean it. And if you guys have watched any of my other videos, you understand how important it is to never say something you don't mean. If you've not watched my video on Tate speech, it's completely free. Tricks on depression. It's about 25 minutes long. Watch that one. And I talk about how important it is to say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't tell someone you're going to knock them out unless you're going to do it. Don't be one of those people who walk through the earth talking shit. If I say, look, bro, you got to get out my face. I'm going to knock you the fuck out. If the first time I look in his eyes, I say I'm going to knock him out, he knows. It's the first time I've looked at him. He knows I'm going to mean it. That's how eye contact should be used. Power poses is a thing. I had a lot of people send me lots of emails about this course asking me questions. So I got asked about power poses. They say, like, if you sit there and you do the Superman pose, you start to get more, you naturally release more testosterone, you start to feel stronger. I believe that's true. I do think that works. That is definitely a thing. You know, that's certainly a thing. Do I walk through life with the Superman pose? No. Should you? No. The fuck. When you look in the mirror, you look in the mirror like, yeah, I'm a fucking man. Yeah, you need to do that, of course. But that's more here than a power pose. So I'm only answering this thing now because I know some of the fuckers are going to come back and go, what about my power pose? If you want to walk through life doing this and it makes you feel a little bit stronger, go for it. How about you just get strong as fuck anyway and you ain't going to worry about walking around looking like a fucking superhero, like a dork. So that's that shit. I've told you a lot about being domineering and conquering. However, a lot of you guys will know one of the 48 rules of power is never to outshine the master. So a lot of you may have a boss and you can't act that way because it's going to piss your boss off too much if you're too overpowering. I managed to be overpowering in my sales meetings because I was such a fucking fantastic salesman. The boss wouldn't say shit to me because I made him so much fucking money. But if you're middle of the road or something, you can't come across that way. You're going to annoy people too much if you haven't got the results to back it up. So one of the key things you can do if you want to make people like you, two things you want to make people like you. One's a body language trick, one's not a body language trick. One is, if you want to make people like you, ask them lots of questions. Because everyone loves to talk about themselves. if I'm meeting someone extremely important, which happens all the fucking time, from Trump Jr. to anyone else, and I think, okay, I need this person to like me. I don't sit there and try and impress them. I don't sit there and go, okay, Andrew Tate, son of a chess grandmaster, genius IQ, 4-time kickboxing world champion. I've got lots of girls, and lots of pussy, and money, and I got Lambo. They don't care. Nobody cares. I sit there and go, yeah, okay, it's really good to meet you. Yeah, I've always been interested in ask them things. Because if you ask people questions, then they have to talk. They have to answer them, and they have to answer them by talking about themselves. And everyone loves themselves. So if you sit there with someone and they only talk about themselves for an hour, they're going to love the conversation. Yeah, it was really good to talk to you because I got to brag for an hour. This is especially effective with women. Women love this shit. If you sit there and try and make a woman impress her, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. Now, sit there and go, you're different than I expect. So what do? I'm a hairdresser. Hairdresser. Don't you get bored of like talking to people all the time? Well, no, actually, I don't mind because some of the people are really nice and some of the people are my best customers. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Well, I don't even go to a hairdresser, as you can tell, because I'm already beautiful. So how long have you been a hairdresser for? Oh, I've been a hairdresser for this long. I went to college and da-da-da. Add in little bits of your own dialogue, but basically just ask them questions. I took one guy on pickup coaching. I don't normally do this, but I had one guy who paid me money to go out with him for a weekend and pick up girls. And he said to me, oh, I'm really nervous. I was like, bro, ask them questions. Say hello. Here's how you introduce yourself. Here's how you say hello. Ask them questions. And if you do that, you're 75% there. Because they're just going to talk about themselves. It doesn't matter what they reply. Who gives a fuck? You're a hairdresser. You're a nurse. You're a stripper. It's all the same shit. Who cares? Oh, really? That's interesting. Same answer to them all. Ask them. Let them talk shit about themselves. This is super effective to make people like you. Super effective. Because everyone loves to talk about themselves. So keep that in mind. And then the body language trick is to really look like you're listening. Most people don't look like they're listening. If I want someone to like me, I really look like I'm listening. So if I need a boss to like me or a girl to like me, I'll make sure it's clear I'm paying attention. So if you've ever been in like a group of people and there's one girl you want to fuck and everyone's kind of talking amongst themselves, da, 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 da. But when that girl's talking, people are half listening. But when that girl's talking, not nuance. Don't look like a fucking creep. But make it clear you're listening. If other people are all talking to you and she starts talking to you, go, okay, yeah. Look at her. I'm listening to you. Because then, oh, he thinks I'm important. He thinks what I say matters. And the boss is the same. He listens when I talk to him. He thinks I'm important. He thinks what I say matters. In a corporate situation, what I used to do, I used to do this all the time. Bosses love this shit. I used to walk around with a little notepad and pen. So if I got called into the boss's office, I'd go in there with a notepad and pen and sit there. And when they were talking to me, I'd just randomly write things down. And a few of them said, why you got that? She said, I don't want to miss any key points. And they sit there and go, this motherfucker takes everything. But they like that shit. Like I'm talking and he's writing it down to not miss my key points. Yeah, well, Mr. Andrew, you are the best salesman. You have sold 3 times more than everybody else. But I'm a greedy CEO cunt. So I want you to sell more. So I was just wondering if you could possibly do this, or if you try doing this because you're my cash cow and I want to milk you for all you're worth. Yeah, you're right. I did try that actually. I did try that, but I'm gonna find the email. I'm gonna send it to you. Okay, yeah. You sit there and I'm listening to you, sir. What you have to say matters. I'm writing it down. They're gonna fucking love you. They're gonna love you. They're like, who the fuck this guy? And then they call the fucking jackass salesman in. Hi, where's your sales? Yeah, I've tried. That's how you be liked. Make it clear you listen to people. Most of you don't make it clear you're listening to someone. Make it clear you are listening to them. The notepad and pen example is fantastic with a boss. They fucking love that shit. They're sitting there go, this dude is fucking, takes his shit seriously. Because a boss hires you to make them money. They're always going to pay you less than they make out of you. Otherwise they wouldn't have a business. So if you're sitting there taking them seriously, you're taking their money seriously. Wouldn't you love it if you had someone who came into your house with a pen and paper and goes, how can I make you more money? Tell me what to do. You'd be like, I fucking like this guy. Who wouldn't? So you have to make it clear you're listening to people and ask lots of questions all the time. Especially once again with the boss, they love that, ask questions. So even if I knew the correct answer, I'd ask them a question. So I'd say something like, I have my pen and my paper, I'm sitting there. I'm almost tempted to get a job again because it was so easy. You know, I never failed a job interview ever. I'd go for jobs that required a degree and I didn't even have a degree. I just walk in there. Go, so Mr. Tate, your degree? I haven't got a degree. Didn't need one. I didn't need one because I'm the best. I'm prepared to prove I'm the best. I'll work for a week for free, and I guarantee within 6 months I'm going to smash any sales target you set me. I don't have time to go to university and sit there for 4 years. I'm here